Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Parkinson's Podcast. Welcome to the Hear, Hear Parkinson's Podcast, where you will hear from special guests covering the world of Parkinson's with a deep dive on the World Parkinson Congress and a look at how the WPC has helped make extraordinary progress in the Parkinson's community by creating space for people with Parkinson's to have a seat at the table.
Amazing. I'm so excited to be here today. Welcome everybody to Hear Parkinson's, the podcast hosted by the World Parkinson Coalition. My name is Eli Pollard. I'm the executive director of the organization, and I am joined today by two very special guests. I know I say that about all of them, but they are very special guests who I've now known for many years. Our two guests are Judi Spencer, who is our music director at the World Parkinson Coalition, and Tom Gisby, who is a very good friend of the coalition coming out of UK, who's part of our music committee and actually performed at the opening ceremony in Barcelona and was amazing. So we have both Judi and Tom here today to talk about all things WPC, music, what where we've come from and where we're headed, and what people can expect for 2026 in Phoenix. So excited to have both of you. Thanks for joining me today.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Exactly.
Thank you for inviting us. Thank you.
Yeah, this is great. So Judi is out in Northwest. So Judi, can you just tell our listeners just a little bit about yourself? And you have a special guest with you today. You have a couple of guests with you.
I have a few special guests with me, including my dog, which may bark, and he's a standard poodle, and he likes to be involved. And my two grandchildren, Mir, who's 5, and Maple, who's 8, spent the night with me, and they're very musical. So is Graham.
Perfect. And where are you dialing in from today, Judi?
Where are we coming in from? We are coming in from, Bonnie Lake, Washington, which is just outside Seattle. We're very, very close to Mount Rainier. I am a mountain girl. I love to hike. I love to ski. I love to sing.
Nice. So, perfect. Sound of music. It's perfect.
Sound of music, for sure.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. And Tom, what about you? Where are you dialing in from today?
So I'm in Bristol in the UK. Live here with my family. We moved out of London a couple of years ago and very much enjoying it here.
Nice. And tell us just a little bit about yourself. Well, let's start with Tom and then go back to Judi on the music front. So tell us, Tom, just our listeners, just a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you ended up getting connected to the WPC.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with Parkinson's when I was 33, which is over 11 years ago now. It's just crept up on me. And I work as an editor in the animation industry and sometimes as a composer. I play music still when I can do. I'm very glad to be on the creativity committee for WPC 2026 because I've been to the last two WPCs. So Kyoto was my first one, and it's just an absolutely amazing experience.
Yeah, Kyoto was your first one. Can we tell people what animation you actually work on? Do you have one specific one that you work on, or do you work on many?
I've worked on several. I've spent a long time working on Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig.
I finished there last year, so I'm starting on a new show next month, actually, which is very exciting. Yeah.
Oh, very exciting. Yeah. So you've been to Kyoto, WPC 2019 in Kyoto, and WPC 2023 in Barcelona. And Kyoto was where we first met. I did see Tom give a live performance at our performance lounge, which happens the second to last night of the Congress. And he gave such an incredible performance. I was blown away. And then I immediately said, that guy has to come back to the next Congress and play at the opening ceremony. And so this is what we do at the WPC. When we find amazing people, we sort of just capture them and we keep them close and we like keep them going with us for many years. So watch out. If you're amazing, I'll find you and then I'll never let you go. So we're super excited. And Tom did play at the opening ceremony in Barcelona. And I think just completely wowed the crowd with your
Oh,
musical ability, but also just the video that you put together of you playing multiple instruments and you live on the stage, which is so well choreographed. It was like 4 minutes of 5 minutes of absolute perfection. So we had so much fun with that.
it was so great to be asked. Thank you. Yeah, it was lovely. I remember when you sort of asked me about it because I think you wanted something sort of similar to the idea that I'd done in Kyoto. But I thought, yeah, if it's going to be in a big room, I better have a bit of fun with this.
Yeah, it was fun. And I think people were just so blown away. And interestingly, people don't know this, but people aside from us on this podcast, we know this, but there are a lot of rules and restrictions in the UK, in Europe, sorry, about medical meetings and having live musical performances at opening ceremonies. It's considered entertainment. You can't do it unless people pay for it. It's quite complicated. But for those of you who know the WPC, we always have performances at the opening ceremony of people with Parkinson's, either singing or dancing or performing in some way. And we don't see it as entertainment. It is, of course, fun and entertaining, but it is also hugely educational. And, we know, and we've all heard stories about physicians who are not Parkinson's specialists who will tell people when they're diagnosed, you've got a couple good years, like go enjoy your life, and then you won't be able to do anything you love after like a couple years. So go and enjoy it, which is absolutely the worst thing you could ever tell someone. And it's not true because they don't know Parkinson's and they don't know what they don't know. And so we always see the opening ceremony as educational as well. So for the audience, particularly of physicians and clinicians who are newer to the Parkinson's space, to see someone, you'd had Parkinson's at that time, like 10 years, right? Or 9 years.
Yeah,
You got up
9 years.
on the
Yeah.
stage and played like incredibly well. And I, I'm sure people followed you afterward. Did you have a lot of people stop you in the hallway and like ask you questions and talk to you about that?
Yeah, it was lovely actually, 'cause I hadn't really considered that beforehand that that would happen. And so many people came to say hello and end up with some fascinating conversations. It was really lovely that. Yeah, very special.
Yeah. And so the opening ceremony is educational, and we like people to see that, people with Parkinson's can and do engage in these innovative ways. So Tom played a performance, and Judi, our music director, used to be choir director, now music director, has been with the coalition for many years now. I think officially it was 2016. Was that the official time when you came
That
in?
is the official start date. 10 years now.
Yeah, so we had the World Parkinson Congress at that time in 2016 in Portland, Oregon, near where Judi was living. And I don't even remember how we ended up coming together, Judi, but tell everyone just sort of what has been your WPC journey? And you've been doing the choir and other things.
I have been doing the choir, and we started with the choir in Portland in 2016, but I've actually been involved with Parkinson's. It's 30 years now, beginning with my dad, who had Parkinson's. And I found he was very musical, and he loved to sing. We would dance, and I could really see what this did for him. So I actually went back to university to get multiple degrees so that I could be with the Parkinson's community. And I love my work. And I've been at the WPC, every single one, beginning in 2006, I think was the first one in Washington, D.C. Yes. And then I believe it was in Scotland, maybe that's where we met, because they had some singing there. And then 2013, Montreal. And then the choir opened with the opening ceremonies with the healing power of music in Portland in 2016. And it's been amazing because we have this beautiful choir of people with Parkinson's, those from the medical community from all over the globe. And we come together and we rehearse online every month. Actually, starting this month, it will be for May. And we have a song competition. The winning song opens this medical conference with the healing power of song. It's beautiful, and I just get so excited about it.
Amazing. Well, we had the song in 2016. Interestingly, we didn't have a song competition, but we did have a song that was written, and then we sort of came up with this idea of like, this is a beautiful song. Someone rewrote the words to another song, and then that became the song that was sung by the choir at the opening ceremony. And then that got the creative juices going, and we started saying, well, why don't we actually have not only a choir singing a song, why don't we have a competition to see what song gets chosen
Yes.
to be sung at the opening ceremony? And that has just opened, I mean, it's been incredible. I'm not a musical person. I think you guys know that. I admit that all the time. I don't know how to write music. I don't know how to read music. I don't play music. Um, but that song competition, it does something amazing. Like we had, what, 59 submissions, 56
Oh my
submissions this year?
heavens, Eli. Yes, we had 59 entries this year from all over the globe.
Yeah.
And we have an adjudication team. So they adjudicate the songs with a very strict set of rules that they have to follow. And it's amazing. So we're hopefully going to hear a lot of the songs at WPC, but only one song opens the WPC.
Yeah, so tell our listeners just a little bit about the song competition. So we get all these submissions, and the ultimate goal, of course, is to have the song chosen for the opening ceremony. How does that, what happens now? So we've announced the winner. Do you want to say her name on
We've
this?
announced the winner, and the winner is, I'm going to make sure I say this correctly, Colleen Bridges, and she's with the Bridges for Parkinson's project, which is out of Nashville. So it was a group effort that put this song together, and it's beautiful.
Oh,
And
it's
just
great, isn't it?
imagine it coming from Nashville. So it's very musical city right there.
Yeah,
But we had so many amazing songs.
yeah,
Uh, I was just blown. Every time we do this, they get better and better and better. And we
incredible.
have more and more and more entries.
So now what
So,
happens? So I know Tom, you were part of the adjudicating team as well on the music committee. So and Judy, so now you've selected the song. People are still applying for the choir. So I think our listeners should know that if you are a musical person, you like to sing, or even if you don't normally sing, but you think it would be fun to join the choir, you can still join the choir until the end of June.
the end
Sorry,
of
end of
January.
January. Wrong month.
The end of
Don't.
January.
Right.
And we do have a rehearsal. We rehearse the second Monday of each month. And I believe it's at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is what I'm in. It's
Yeah.
always going to be at the same time, but it is recorded because it's so difficult to get, everyone from around the globe
Yep.
together. So you can rehearse the song. We learn the song. It's also going to be choreographed. So we're going to have some movements to it. And then we meet in Phoenix for one rehearsal the day of the opening ceremonies. And it is the most uplifting experience. I think if you ask anyone that is been involved with the choir, will say it is a highlight for sure of the beginning of the WPC, because it brings the medical community together with the Parkinson's community, which is what this Congress is all about, through song, and we become friends. And
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It
And
is.
this song is so fun as well, isn't it? I think it'll be stuck in people's heads. It's very catchy. So they'll be singing it all Congress, I'm sure.
That's our goal, Tom. We're going
Yeah.
to hear it walking down the halls. Yeah,
I
throughout the
love it.
Congress.
I love it. I'm very excited to see this, and the song was a great selection. I did watch it when we announced the winner and the video, and really great. And you're right, coming out of Nashville, there's no, it's really wonderful. So for all the people who didn't get selected for the grand prize for the song competition, what opportunities will there be for music for those people? I mean, obviously we have their music, people can listen to it online, but then what will happen at the Congress if their song wasn't chosen? Will there be opportunities for them?
Yes, we do have what we call performance spots. And so people can apply for that. And I think that opens this month, if I remember correctly, and
Yes.
stays open through March, I believe, March
Yeah.
15th, something like that. And we have these performance spots at lunchtime and during the coffee breaks. I know for sure in the afternoon. I'm not sure, can't remember if it was in the morning, Eli. but you can have a 10-minute spot where you can highlight your music. It could be poetry, it could be dance. That's why it's called a performance spot for those that would like to share their talents with us at the WPC. You can apply. There's only so many spots available. So
Yep.
it's not an adjudication. It's probably going to be more of who applies
Yeah,
sooner
it was,
than
and we
later.
can't, and we're not going to be able to provide like a big setup. It's a pretty simple setup with a microphone, and,
Yes.
and you have to bring your own instrument. We're not going to have instruments, so it's stuff like that. But yeah, excited to be able to have music at the over lunch and the coffee breaks, and give people an opportunity to perform whatever it is their skill or talent or art is.
Yes,
It's
So
and
amazingly creative.
those that are attending really, really enjoy it
yes,
because it's something so different than going to hear a lecture or something else going on. It's a commercial break kind of.
I love it. Speaking about commercial breaks,
Yeah.
so we're gonna take a break right now for just a short message from our sponsors for this podcast, and we'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by two of our friends who are sponsoring the World Parkinson Congress, our friends at Blue Rock Therapeutics and our friends at Rune Labs. I'm excited to tell you a little bit about both of these great partners. Blue Rock Therapeutics is a clinical stage cell therapy company focused on developing cellular medicines for people living with neurological and ophthalmic diseases. Blue Rock's investigational cell therapy for the treatment of Parkinson's is currently being tested in a phase 3 clinical trial called Expedite 2. You can learn more about that trial and other things that Blue Rock is doing on their website at www.bluerocktx.com. Now, our other sponsor for this podcast, our friends at Rune Labs. Let me tell you a little bit about what they're doing. Strive PD is a free app powered by Rune Labs that uses FDA-cleared Apple Watch and iPhone movement data. Strive PD helps people with Parkinson's understand their symptoms, optimize their therapy, and stay connected to their care team. For premium access, Strive PD Guardian provides proactive coaching and personalized AI reports that offer support between visits, helping individuals improve quality of life and receive the right treatment at the right time. Download Strive PD for free on the Apple App Store, or you can visit their website to learn more and also download it straight from their website at www.strivepd.com today. I'm excited to say you will be able to visit with both of these companies at the upcoming 7th World Parkinson Congress in the exhibit hall, as they will both be exhibiting. Now, back to our podcast. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Here Parkinson's podcast with our special guests, Judi Spencer and Tom Gisby. We were just talking about the performance lounges or performance spots, which are going to be spaces where people can do performances at the Congress. Applications will open up soon for those, or registration will open up soon for those. But just circling back to the WPC itself and shifting away a little bit from the music, you've both been to multiple World Parkinson Congresses. I'd love to hear from each of you about your WPC story. So, like Tom, you attended Kyoto, and did you even know what you were sort of getting into? And what, when you think about WPC, what comes to mind? And what do you talk about when someone says to you, Tom, is it worth me going to this conference? Like, should I go? What do you talk about when someone brings up the WPC?
I really don't think I was prepared actually for what it was going to be like because I came to Kyoto. It was quite last minute my decision to come, and yeah, I don't think I was. I don't think I was aware how quite how amazing it was going to be. It's been discussed on the podcast quite a few times, I think, about the how unique the events are in terms of it is the medical professionals and the researchers and the and carers and people with Parkinson's all together. So even I think even with just that group of people meeting in one place, you've got quite an incredible event on already. Let alone with the program that's amazing and varied to being added into that. So yeah, it was. I think it was quite overwhelming in a way. To sort of to experience it and. There's also some magic really in that having Parkinson's can be quite it can be quite lonely and quite sort of it can be isolating sometimes. And finding yourself in an event like that where you're surrounded by people you don't have to explain it to. So whatever symptom is presenting itself overwhelmingly that day, it's yeah, it's really quite remarkable.
Mm. Yeah, I think overwhelming is often we hear from people, what word we hear from people when they're attending for the first time. So what is your, now that you've been to two congresses, what are your tips, Tom, for people who are coming for the first time?
Ooh, I think well, make a plan because you can't do everything. There's so many wonderful things going on. You need to sort of look at the program beforehand and make your plan. But then don't be afraid to to completely go off piste. If you find yourself in a conversation that's too good to leave, or or something else, some other topic sparks your interest while you're there, and you realise there's another talk you maybe not considered going to before that you need to that you'd like to see. So yeah, I think. Yeah, make a plan, but then be ready to change it on the fly.
That's great. It's a great tip. I totally agree with that. I always encourage people to go through the program and really circle one thing because you could go through and circle from 8
Yeah,
a.m. to 6 p.m. things you want to do every hour, but being so tight on your schedule is so rigid, you might miss great conversations. So I always say pick the one thing you absolutely want to go to, and then the rest of your day, let it flow on sort of
yeah,
how you're feeling and what you're feeling at that moment, or where people, you might meet someone in the hallway and they say, I'm going to this great talk on this exercise. Do you want to come with me? And you were going to go somewhere else, but you might think, oh, I want to go with that person and hear that talk together. So but you definitely need to have some sort of plan. Otherwise, you're paralyzed by the
yeah,
choices.
yeah. Your day will definitely fill up though. That's yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And Judi, so Judi, it's funny because now I've worked with Judi for a long time. With Judi, it's a twofer because I don't only get Judi, I get her other half, Warren, who actually oversees the management of our mindfulness and meditation room, for those who didn't know. So that's Warren, that's Judy's other half. But Judi, from your perspective, and I don't think I realized you've been to every single World Parkinson Congress till just now. You are like an amazing WPC champion. What is your what would be your tip to somebody coming to the WPC for the first time? Or what's your sort of experience and what are your tips?
I was thinking back from the first one because I was actually in Washington, D.C. lobbying because there was a group of us that were lobbying, and that was just before the WPC. And then we had the opportunity to go to the
Right.
WPC afterwards. And it was the same thing. It was just overwhelming. And there was so much information there. I was giddy, actually, because I thought, wow, this is something that I've hoped and dreamed for would happen, where we would bring people together from all over the world, that we can share the research together and also be together with those that have Parkinson's, because that's who it's for. And being a daughter of someone with Parkinson's, it really meant a lot to me. And I'd always promised my dad that I would learn as much as I could about Parkinson's so that I could be of help in the area of Parkinson's. And I did the same thing. I looked at the program and went, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So the first thing that we did was sit down and circle what we found was important to us each day. And it did change, you are correct. Because, well, sometimes it would change because you'd meet people in the hallway and you'd end up talking through that entire session. But that is well worth it too. It really is.
Yes.
And then going to each one thereafter, um, I have met so many, I have so many friends now from all around the world because of the WPC. So I do make time for that. That's also part of each day, is to make sure that I make time for people,
Yeah.
because it's so important that we have this. But then to carry on and see what is happening with each of the sessions. I love the sessions where they get the researchers together and they're talking about what has happened over the last few years in their similar research projects and how it moves forward. And then they have an aha together on this panel. It's simply amazing.
Yeah.
So I encourage everyone that I meet that has Parkinson's or is connected to Parkinson's to consider coming to the WPC, because it is such an uplifting experience. And I see Tom nodding his head. It really is.
Yes, absolutely. It's
Even
hard. Yeah,
even with Parkinson's, it gives us hope. It gives us encouragement. It gives us a smile. It gives us a community. a very positive community
Yeah.
in so
Yeah.
many different ways
Mhm.
that I feel blessed to be part of this community. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Well, we call those conversations in the hallway, where you often learn so much and or meet people, but you also learn a lot. It's the unconference, right? And
I love that.
we call that the unconference. And often the unconference is really what you take back with you because that's where you've made those connections and it's incredible. Um, I'm curious from both of your perspectives. I mean, Judi, you've been now in the space for a very long time, and you had your dad, and you're a music expert, and you guide people, you sing, you lead. And then Tom, you've been living now with you were obviously a musical person your whole life, Tom, but then you with your Parkinson's diagnosis 11 years ago. I'd love to hear from both of you how you feel things have evolved and changed with regards to music and Parkinson's. Have you seen change? What kind of makes you most happy and excited and let's go open there. Judi.
I'll speak to that first since I've been involved with it in such a long time. Because when I went back to study more about the brain and music, and this was in, I guess it started in 2010, and I was over in Europe, and there was very little research going on, or research, they didn't really even care to have research involved with music and Parkinson's. And now it's everywhere. I was just talking about this with my husband Warren the other day, saying, oh my gosh, I've been on the web all day long and I'm finding so much research now
Yeah.
of music with Parkinson's or music with Alzheimer's, whatever it happens to be. It's huge, the positive that comes from it.
Yeah.
Um, and we're finding now in this upcoming WPC, there are researchers that are coming to talk about music and Parkinson's. We even have a pre Congress workshop
Yeah.
for music leadership that is going to be led by music research teams.
That's incredible, Judi. I'm so glad that you mentioned that. So, for our listeners who are interested in music therapy, there is an opportunity to register for the pre-Congress event on Saturday, May 23rd, which will take place from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. right at the convention center. And Judi will be leading that with a lineup of really great presenters, including Boss Bloom. And like I'm using Boss's name because so many people know who he is, but it's going to be a very good workshop. And we encourage you to look for stuff on the website and register for that to secure a spot. Um, yeah, the evolution, Judi, what I find so fascinating about music myself is that I think it might just be that I wasn't aware of it, but for a long time, when people talked about music, it was you had to be playing an instrument to benefit from the music. But now what people realize is that's not the case. You could just be listening to music and it gives you a benefit. And they're looking and they're seeing that from scans on the brain about what areas of the brain are lighting up. So it's any kind of music, whether you're singing it yourself, you're playing an instrument, or you're just enjoying it and listening to it. Music in any of those areas are beneficial to the brain and they're starting to understand that and
It's
that is
any
exciting.
kind of music. I'm glad you said that because just listening to music and you think of the balance of what that does with left brain, right brain, it's huge. We also do a lot of drumming, dancing, and singing, of course. Singing is more than just, it helps our voices as well, and it's fun. And we need it in our lives. We need it every single day in our lives.
Yep.
And
Totally agree.
just the positivity that it also gives us.
Totally agree. So Tom, I'm curious from your perspective of a musician yourself and we're living with Parkinson's, how have you seen things evolve and change?
Gosh, I mean, thinking back to the Kyoto event and the music lounge there, I think that was remarkable. The sort of talent in the community that was incredible. I don't think I'd sort of considered the the benefits of keeping going, even though it's very hard to think to sort of to know that your playing is getting worse in that sense. But the benefits of keeping doing it and seeing people, pursuing it and benefiting it from it so much anyway, maybe not in a way that they originally thought they might do. It's so important and beneficial. It's yeah. a really good thing to do.
Yeah. Amazing. It kind of came out really organically, the creating the space for performance. And actually the first time we did even that performance lounge on that evening, it came out of conversations with people with Parkinson's who said, a lot of times when you go to these medical meetings, doctors and researchers, doctors especially, get wined and dined by pharmaceutical industry. They get taken out to dinner. They have things to do in the evening. They meet up with their colleagues. Whereas a lot of people with Parkinson's, if they come on their own or maybe with one friend, they don't have that network of like to meet up in the evening, to just go out for a drink and dinner. And especially if they're traveling by themselves, it could be challenging. So we said, let's just create a space where people can just come together. And we didn't overthink it. We just kind of said, let's just get a space, get some audio, set up. And our friend David Sangster actually did that for us because he's such a talented guy. He set it up for us. And then we just invited people to just raise their hand if they wanted to perform. And we had such fun performers. It wasn't really, again, really well planned and thought out. It was really just more of a, let's just create the space and see what comes out of it. But one of my favorite memories from that night in Portland, Oregon, was that we did have a young woman with Parkinson's who was a musician and a guitar player. And she wanted to perform and she had applied to perform. And we said, yeah, she's going to perform. But that day, that afternoon, she was having a bad day and she could not play her guitar. Her fingers just would not work the way she needed them to work. And so she was really upset. And she said, I just don't think I can do it because I can't play my guitar. And what was amazing is that her neurologist, who's based at OHSU, named Matt Brodsky, he's a guitar player. And he said, I can play your guitar for you. And she was like, can you learn the song? He's like, I think so. It's not that complicated. Just give me the music. I'll learn the song. So he spent that afternoon learning the music, got up on stage with her neurologist and the person with Parkinson's, played the song
Oh,
together. And it was very, very moving to
that's
see that
incredible.
come together and to see that happen. And I've never forgotten that. It was just beautiful. We are surrounded by super talented people, both across our community, the neurologists, the scientists, the people with Parkinson's. So very lucky. But yeah, so the event, the performance lounge will take place on the Tuesday night, and we'll be looking for performers very soon. So people who have an interest in performing can watch for that announcement and put your name on the list as a possible performer, and we'll, get that agenda set up. It's a little less organic this time because there's a lot of interest. So we have to have people apply ahead of time so we can put a lineup together. But amazing. Um, this has been really fun. I love talking to you too. Judy, you have something else?
I do have something else
Yeah.
that I would like to add since we're talking about singing is the sing-alongs, the monthly sing-alongs.
Mm,
Because they start this month and actually they start there on the first Monday of every month. We have various co-host countries each month. The first one is the UK, and I believe that one is going to be, I know it's 9 a.m. Pacific time, so that would be noon Eastern and
5
what,
p.m. in
5
the UK.
o'clock?
But I
5
was at
o'clock in
fun.
the
Yeah.
UK. And you need to sign up for that as well. That's on the website. And you sign up for the sing alongs, and you will get an email and the link so that we can all be together and have this wonderful time together pre Congress
Yep.
and get to know each other pre Congress
Yep.
through song. So we've got the UK. I think the second one is the US, and then Jerome from Ireland,
Ireland.
and then I think we have the Netherlands, and then the last one is going to be a global mix,
Cool.
beginning of May before we all get together in Phoenix. And you can join that no matter what, whether you're coming
Yeah.
or not. Please
Correct.
join the sing along. Same thing
Thank-
with the choir. You can
Yes.
join the choir whether you're going to be in Phoenix or not. We'd love
Yeah.
to have you.
Sing-alongs for everyone. So even if you can't make it to Phoenix, join. These are super fun sing-alongs.
I'll be
They're
there.
very fun. Amazing. So I know we're coming to the end of our podcast. We always have some fun questions. So I'm going to ask you each a question. This one may be hard for both of you, but you'll come up with something fun. You're trapped on a desert island, obviously your own desert islands, not together. You're each on your own deserted island. You happen to have a record player there that is solar powered, and you can have a record. what is your record that you're going to play on your deserted island for
Just one.
potentially, yes, just one,
Oh,
potentially a long time? What's your record? What's your music? Who are you taking with you to that deserted island to serenade you?
ooh, I think my choice would change often, I think. But I think Inner Visions by Stevie Wonder. It's a beautiful album. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That would be great. That's a good one. No one's given me that one yet. That's super.
unbelievable. The first one that came to mind is I love Tom Jones. Especially now. His voice is the most amazing, strong voice. And if I'm going to be on an island, I'd love to be with Tom Jones.
So any Tom Jones.
Amazing.
Any Tom Jones. I know.
Excellent. I love it. That's great. So those are the first two times I've heard Tom Jones and Stevie Wonder. I love it. It's great. Okay, so my last question for each of you is you are stuck in an elevator between two floors for a short period of time. Who would you like to be stuck in the elevator with? Any space-time continuum of any time in history, alive, dead, young, old. Who would you want to be stuck with in that elevator?
Oh, that's difficult, isn't it? Oh, my daughter, because she's the best. And well, yeah, and I think my wife needs some respite from her and I sometimes. So that would deal with that too. But maybe if someone more well known, go back to music, maybe Quincy Jones, just because the sort of amazing sort of time his career spanned, and he sort of worked with jazz greats to sort of pop greats, and I think he'd have some stories to tell.
Oh,
I
I
love
love that.
I love that.
And that,
Quincy Jones, but I also love your daughter. Your daughter is she's what, 3 years old now?
To come up to two.
Oh, 2 years old. Delightful. You guys would have fun as long as you have some good snacks in there. Otherwise, it could be a challenge.
Right, yeah.
Amazing. Okay, thanks, Tom. And Judy, who would you be stuck in an elevator with?
well, you've met my grandchildren, so I'd have to say my grandchildren,
Okay.
all five of them, because they love being together because that would definitely pass the time. And if I'm going to have the grandchildren, I'd add Carol Burnett because we need some comedy in there as well. That would be quite the combination.
Oh my God, Carol Burnett would be a hoot. What an
I
amazing person to be stuck in an elevator with. Time would
yes.
pass way too quickly, actually.
Good
Amazing.
questions.
Well, this has been super fun. I love talking to both of you. You know, we often cross paths when we're in meetings and we have tight agendas and we have to get stuff done. So to have just this time with you to chat and hear about your WPC experience, your music, your work, all this great stuff has been a real pleasure for me. So thank you. I love just being able to talk with you and not have to check off an agenda item.
For
Yeah,
sure.
it's lovely
Thank
to
you,
chat. Thank
Eli.
you.
Looking forward to being together with both of you in Phoenix.
Likewise, I
Definitely.
can't believe it's this year, you guys. It's this year. It's amazing. We've been working for many years getting to this point, which is, I think, for people, listeners who don't know this, planning for the WPC starts even before the next WPC is done. Like we're already thinking about 2029. And as soon as we're done in Phoenix, people start coming together on committees and thinking about what's going to happen. It's a long, long, long cycle of engagement. And Judi and Tom have been with us for this whole 3-year cycle, and Judi for many years before that. But I think for the listeners to know, this is something that takes many, many people and many years of planning to pull it off. And it's not magically successful. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of volunteering time and a lot of commitment by people who are very passionate about making sure the WPC experience is memorable and lovely and fun and warm and welcoming. So, and Judi and Tom play a part in that. So thank you for that. And this has been amazing. So thanks to our listeners for joining the Here Parkinson's podcast. I look forward to seeing you all in Phoenix in May of 2026. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Here Parkinson's podcast. We hope today's conversation inspired you. If you'd like to experience the energy, connection, and impact of the global Parkinson's community firsthand, join us at the 7th World Parkinson Congress, May 24th to the 27th, 2026 in Phoenix, Arizona. Learn more at WPC2026.org. This podcast series is made possible with support from Blue Rock Therapeutics and Rune Labs.